Папарацци. Всем привет! Здравствуйте, дорогие мои замечательные люди! Как я рада вас видеть! Вот и понедельник. Вот и время для Mindset Monday. А, так, я себя вижу и слышу. Все на месте. Энрико, привет! Здравствуй! Как ты, Энрико? Как твои дела? Все в порядке? Сейчас мы подождем еще пару минут. 2 минуты подождем и начнем. Так, сейчас я напишу Энрико привет по-русски. Можно я напишу в чате? Энрико, привет. Написала. Я жду, нет проблем. Супер. Отлично. Так, что у нас здесь происходит? Все на месте. Компьютер подключен. Зарядка есть. Я знаю, о чем я сегодня буду говорить. Все на месте. Вода тоже есть. Теплая, кстати, теплая вода. Холодную воду не пью. Не люблю холодную воду. Пью теплую. Так. Хорошо. Все. Время начинать. So, this is me. My name is Elena Jung. And this is Mindset Monday, episode number 11. Mindset Mondays is a series of live YouTube videos where we talk all about our mindset around Russian, about our learning, about our speaking, about our fears, obstacles, our great things, and maybe not that great, but we own them, we love them, we appreciate them. And this is the happy place to talk about all this stuff. So, Энрико, как погода? Елена, я видел у вас осень. Да, Энрико, здесь осень. В Новой Зеландии сейчас осень. Утром было очень холодно, плюс 7 градусов, плюс 7. И я сегодня была на улице в пальто, в теплом пальто. Но сейчас уже становится теплее. So, this is, as I said, a happy place to be to discuss our mindset around Russian. So, before we jump into this, let me, as always, remind you that we don't do labels here. We don't call ourselves beginners or newbies. We are explorers. And Russian learning is your adventure. It's your journey that you enjoy. And we don't do basics. We don't learn basics here. We build foundation. We build foundation for our great learning. Yes, it is an adventure, but it has a great plan. It has the right strategy. It has great foundation that we are working on together. And we are happy to be in this journey together. How does it sound to you? I prefer to call myself and you explorer, an explorer. I think it sounds much better, right? We tend to, as I always say, lower our standards and call ourselves whatever, but not actually what we want to be. So I prefer to be an explorer rather than a newbie. or a beginner, right? When you call yourself an explorer, it sounds like and it feels like you know why you're here. You know why you're doing this, why you're taking the time, why you show up every single week, as Enrico does, as I do. With being newbie or a beginner, you're like, I'm not sure yet. Maybe today is Russian, maybe tomorrow is Chinese, maybe in a month it will be Arabic or something else. So before you start that journey, define yourself as an explorer and feel it. Sit with it for a moment and just notice how you feel about this. And also, please take a moment to ask yourself the right questions. A bit better, maybe than yesterday, maybe than last week. Why am I here? What do I want to take away from this episode? How will it help me to move forward towards my big goal in Russian? Just take a moment and answer these questions for yourself. When you're ready and you know exactly why you're here, then with excitement and pleasure, you can jump into a new topic, a new conversation. Today, it's going to be with me, if you don't mind. So today, I would love to talk about acknowledgement and appreciation. These are the things without which we cannot move forward. These are the things without which we cannot really accomplish what we want. What I'm talking about here, this is Russian learning. So you learn Russian. This is your process. This is your priority for now. What do you acknowledge about your learning? What do you appreciate about it? If you take a moment and you take a step back and you look at your journey in Russian learning, what do you see? You probably see great milestones. You see big and small goals that you've accomplished. Maybe it was your first word that you read in Russian. Maybe it was your first or second conversation with a native speaker. Maybe it was your first class with your teacher. Maybe it was your first trip to Russia or to another Russian-speaking country. All those things are great reasons to be grateful. Yes, you do have those milestones. Yes, you do have those accomplishments. But it's not just about that. What people have you met along the way? As one of the great people that I've met along the way, his name is Mike. Mike Good. Mike, if you see me or if you watch a replay, as you said to me some time ago, it's not about Russian learning. It's not just about Russian learning. It's about the people who you've met along the way. I know that you went to Russia, you studied Russian there, and it was such a great journey for you. And you've met people online and offline, and as you said, it's much bigger than just the language, much bigger than just the culture, much bigger than you. And sometimes when we meet certain people, our people, the people that we feel like, oh my gosh, we've so connected with them, we realize that we didn't even expect to meet these people on this journey. We could think about this like it's just a learning process, it's just something to experience, it's just something new or interesting for me. And then, wow, then you build those amazing human connections. And as I always say, so I've learned a very interesting thing from Tim Ferriss. He suggested, he learned it from someone else, but it's a great opportunity for us to appreciate both of these people. So what Tim shared is a great tip to be grateful, to appreciate, and to acknowledge. And it's called a jar of awesome. So you can create the jar of awesome for yourself, and it has to be, it's better if it's a physical thing. If it's a physical jar, it can be a box, or it can be like a glass jar, or it can be something, I don't know, like ancient and beautiful. So it's something where you could physically put pieces of paper. So you, for example, it's been your first conversation with a native speaker today, and you are so happy about it. And this is something awesome for you that happened. So you take a moment, you sit down, and you write down, I had my first amazing conversation with the native speaker in Russian. And you can put the date there, so it's easier for you to recall the details. And you put that piece of paper in that jar. And of course, you can fill it up with all the great things that you enjoy every single day. It's not just about Russian learning. You can have your separate jar of awesome just for Russian, and you can have another one for all the rest. But I prefer just to have one for all the great stuff that is happening with me in my life. Sometimes we have those down moments, or maybe it's a great moment. And anyway, you have the jar on your table, on your desk, and you have a great opportunity every time when you are sitting there just to take that piece of paper from the jar and to read what happened, what awesome things happened with you yesterday or maybe a year ago. Just make sure the jar is big enough, okay? Why do I say that? Why is it important to have like a physical jar? When we have it just on our smartphone or in our journal or in on a laptop, it's different. That physical movement, when you write down with your hand, it's different. It's a different feeling. And our brain works differently when we write it down with our hand. So you know that some people prefer to do journaling. Some people do these morning pages. So they write down the things that they are grateful for in the morning, or they write down the things that they are grateful for, they appreciate at night before they go to bed. So they kind of tune in into that happy, peaceful, grateful state. And for some people, it works in the morning. But what I love about this jar of awesome, that it's like it's there all the time, and it's easy just to use it this way. You don't have to look for something awesome that happened with you a year ago. You just take something, and it reminds me of my childhood. You have to be you don't have to be an adult all the time, right? It's like taking a secret message from a something like a like chest, or you are being adventurous, you are being curious. um, this is what it's all about. And acknowledgement and appreciation is not just about good things. I believe that all the negative and positive outcomes, we can call them mistakes, right? But all these experiences, they are great. All these experiences they are a part of our life. And we own them. Let's call them mistakes, okay? We own our mistakes. We own our positive and negative experiences. Um, and we appreciate them anyway. If the first conversation with a native speaker didn't go that well, it didn't go the way you wanted, the way you maybe expected, that's okay. That's okay. It's just a process of learning. And here, what you can appreciate is that you had that experience. It doesn't have to be all this, like in New Zealand, they say sunshine and daisies all the time. Doesn't have to be like that. It can be just another step forward. And you don't have to be like super excited about the result all the time. Sometimes it's just something to accept, something to own. And that jar of awesome will help you to be mindful about the things that you have already had, about the things that you maybe forget to appreciate on a daily basis. We all have our routines. We all have our hustle, and we have job, we have families, we have things to do. And I believe that every day, 24 hours that we've got, we have 1 minute to acknowledge and appreciate. As Tony Robbins says, by the way, if you don't have 10 minutes for yourself in 24 hours, you don't have your life. And this is so true. And I'm paraphrasing here. So if you don't have 1 minute to appreciate and acknowledge yourself and how far you've come, you don't have your life. You don't have your 24 hours. And here is my little story about how I didn't appreciate myself, how I didn't appreciate what I had. So, and of course, it's a story about the Russian language. So, as a native speaker, to speak Russian for me always was, what is that? It's like you're breathing the air. What's important about it? What's amazing about it? Why are you interested in Russian? Why do you want to speak Russian? So for me, it was like I took it for granted. More than that, I didn't want my son to speak Russian. From day one, I started speaking with him in English. And I'm so grateful now that I learned along the way to ask better questions. And I was thinking to myself, oh, why am I doing this? The Russian language is such a great tool. And why my son, why he shouldn't speak Russian? I was thinking to myself, English is great. English is the international language, and it's enough for him. If he needs to learn any other language, he will. But I'm so grateful now that I asked those questions. And I believe when he was probably 1.5, I started speaking Russian a lot with him. Before it was like almost 24/7, I was speaking only English. That was one of the reasons why now I'm here with you, why I'm sharing this knowledge with you. It started with appreciation and acknowledgement. I realized that my ability to speak Russian was something great. And it can be anything if we talk not just about the Russian language or any language. It can be that you are great at making omelets, or you are great at music, or you are great at writing poems, or you are great at helping people becoming more healthy. It can be anything. But the moment when we just pause and we give ourselves time and ask ourselves better questions, we start appreciating it much more. Or we just start appreciating it at all, like from scratch. Because for me, it was like, what's the thing with this Russian? I want to be open and honest with you. And I'm sharing this with you because this is a great example from my life how I started to appreciate what I've got and where it led me to. Here, right now, I'm doing a broadcast with you about the mindset around the Russian language. Without that gratitude, without that appreciation and acknowledgement back then, like 5 years ago, I would not start doing this. I would not be here right now. So, this is my message for you today. And I invite you to do this not just about Russian. I believe that there are so many beautiful things in your life that you forget sometimes, or maybe you don't have those reminders. This is a gentle, friendly reminder for you. Please take your time, take a moment for yourself, and think about the things that you acknowledge about yourself, about your learning journey. Write it down and put it in your own jar of awesome. Why? Because you are awesome. Because you are amazing. And I want you to remember it every single day. If you remember it about yourself, you remember it about others. And you are so great at what you're doing. You're so great at Russian already. Even if you've just started, you are already great because you were born this way and you are on the right track. Believe me, I live in the future. I'm in New Zealand. I'm maybe 18 or something hours ahead of you. So I've checked. The future is bright and beautiful. And just start appreciating yourself and how far you've come. You're awesome. So this is it. This is my message for today. And I'm looking forward to check out if you have any questions. So, привет, Diogo. This is the skill Yoni Zmai. I hope I pronounce it correctly. It is a skill I would like to master. This is beautiful. Sean, привет. Привет, Елена. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, Sean. I hope you enjoyed your conference in Vegas. And this is great. This is amazing. So I have a little announcement for you as well. So this week I'm going to the States, and I would love to meet you in person there. So if you are somewhere in the LA area, please let me know. And I actually emailed all the great people on my list just this morning, and I let all of you know that I'm going to the States, and I'm excited to organize a gathering for all of us to be able to meet in person and to talk, and maybe to speak in English about Russian, or have a great, authentic conversation in Russian, life and business, and everything what's important for us in our lives. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Спасибо большое, дорогие мои люди. Я вас очень ценю. Спасибо за ваше время. И, как всегда, вы лучшие. Вы лучшие. Помните об этом. You can put this in your jar of awesome. So today, Mindset Monday, number 11, Elena said, I'm awesome. So I would love for you to have that in your jar of awesome. Спасибо, вы лучшие. As always, your feedback is very welcome. I love to hear from you. And enjoy your week. Отличного дня, отличной недели. И пусть у вас все получится. До скорого. Пока.